Welcome back, everyone. I am COD since 1998, and today I have a Cold War beta review for you guys. Now, I won't be giving an overall rating since it's just a beta, but I will be discussing what Treyarch, the lead developer for Cold War, has done well, what I'd like to see improved, and what needs to change immediately so far in this game. Let's start off with everything we have confirmed so far from teasers, official releases, and what was playable within the beta. We know there are going to be 3 core modes: the campaign, zombies, and multiplayer. We've learned recently that Warzone will be integrating a Cold War theme by way of a new map, playable weapons, and characters, while everything we are used to in the current state of Warzone will still be playable. As far as the campaign goes, I'm not worried whatsoever. Treyarch has done extremely well with their last few campaigns, especially those of the Black Ops series. It was a disappointment that they didn't continue their storyline with the Black Ops 4 and a traditional campaign, but to see that they're taking the Black Ops universe and merging it with events inspired by the Cold War, I'm excited to immerse myself in their story. Zombies has a cult following, and personally, I always enjoyed it casually by playing with friends, as the storylines were fairly difficult to follow. It seemed as if the zombies lore was rushed, and just thrown together. We can expect a new set of playable zombies characters in this year's game, and hopefully a deep backstory that can be shared and understood simply by playing. I always thought the zombies mode was deserving of its own title, or at least a dedicated campaign. Irregardless, I can't wait to try out Cold War Zombies with my friends. How Warzone handles the integration of Cold War will be huge for the continuation of the mode. The difference in art style, player movement, and gunplay are all vastly different between what we've gotten used to for the last year in Modern Warfare and what we've seen in the beta for Cold War. Speaking of the beta, the only access we had was to a limited version of multiplayer. There were many changes made between the alpha and the beta, so we could see more changes before the official launch, but it's unlikely we'll see nearly as many. In the beta version of Cold War, we only saw 14 different primary weapons, which consisted of 4 assault rifles, 4 submachine guns, 2 tactical rifles, 2 LMGs, and 2 snipers. It's probably safe to assume that they didn't show all of their weapons, but if the game were to launch with only 14 primary weapons, that should be considered a huge failure. There were also 12 different perks available, which when combined with certain wildcards could be used in any variety, meaning that you could stack 3 perk 2s or have 2 perks from each perk class. We only had access to 6 maps in total, some of which were specifically for the new combined arms 12v12 modes. As far as new modes are concerned, we also had VIP Escort, a 1 life per round match, which hopefully doesn't replace Search and Destroy. And there were also the classics of Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, and Domination. I'm quite sure we will see more maps and modes on launch day. We also saw 10 different score streaks, but I'll touch on those in a minute. As far as what Treyarch did well in the beta, I found the gunplay to be balanced. There weren't any overpowered weapons that necessarily stood out. They brought back the gunsmith for heavy weapon customization, but improved it by showing us exactly how attachments affect our weapons. There was plenty of room for extra loadout customization too, by bringing back wildcards. The art style for this game is unique and reminiscent of the OG Black Ops games. The traditional 6v6 maps I played were visually stunning and had good flow to them. All of that, along with a confirmed DLC system similar to that of Modern Warfare 2019, there's a lot to look forward to in this year's game. There was room for improvement in the audio department. I found it more challenging to hear audio while in gunfights than in previous games. It seemed when you got hit with 1 bullet, there was an ear-piercing sound that drowned out all other audio. Perhaps it was my audio settings, or maybe it was intentional, but I think it needs tuning. Obviously there needs to be more weaponry and maps, but I do expect to see that added. The movement system from the beta was not only a shocking change from Modern Warfare, but but it didn't exactly feel polished yet. The jumping, vaulting, and sliding all felt out of place compared to the normal walk-sprint mechanics of the game. If walking and sprinting speeds were set correctly, and say they were at 100%, it felt like jumping, vaulting, and sliding were at 150. There was just a few minor improvements I wanted to see. Even if they aren't changed, nothing would be game-breaking, and I'm sure people would get used to them over time. Now, for what needs changed immediately. I really only had one big gripe with the Cold War beta, and that was the score streak system. Normally, I would be a fan of score streaks in lieu of kill streaks in a COD game, as it encourages and rewards players to play the objective in addition to slaying out, rather than just going for kills. Treyarch went and messed that up though. They changed it so that each additional kill during a streak earns greater score, and that in itself isn't so bad. But it was balanced in a way that doesn't allow for a 4-kill streak to earn a spy plane. The standard kills necessary for the most basic streak in the game for at least the last 10 years. They also made it so that score earned goes toward your streaks even through death. We actually have seen this before in Modern Warfare 3. There was a separate set of support score streaks that didn't reset through death. But again, Treyarch has altered that model as well. They've changed it so that there's a cooldown timer for all streaks. So say you go crazy and get all of your streaks within 30 seconds of each other, and use them one after another. Until your cooldown timer is up, nothing you do to earn score is counted towards your streaks, not kills or playing the objective. That to me is asinine. Hopefully through community feedback, we can get this changed and revert to a more traditional score streak system. If you had the chance to play the Cold War Alpha or Beta, please let me know in the comments what you thought of it. And even if you didn't, let me know what you're most looking forward to when the full game launches. If you've made it to this point, thank you for watching and listening. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.